Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 9, Direwolf20's Let's Play series. Man, we're almost at episode 10? That reminds me, you get a world download at episode 10, don't you? Yeah, I better make sure I do some good stuff this episode and next to make sure that you have a cool world to download. Alright, well I guess the first thing I'm going to have to do then is make sure that this area is nice and neat looking. So I've got my swapping wand, and I want to swap, yoink, dirt. And I should be able to increase the size of this thing. 7 by 7? Nice. Whoosh. It'll take a little bit for the grass to transfer, but that shouldn't be a big deal. Nice. Looking good. Lots and lots of dirt left on me. It's a little bit loud. Man, I hope I don't have enough dirt. I feel like I don't have enough dirt. That's the situation we're in right now. I do not have enough dirt. Hilarity ensues. I mean, I did clear out that big amount of terrain and did not collect the dirt because I did voiding because I thought that would be cheaper, which is probably accurate, and it definitely is cheaper, but shovel, please. Thank you. Let's go outside and collect ourselves a little bit more dirt because I want this area to look nice. That's kind of like one of the goals. Oh, cool. You cleared out my my chest that I had here. I forgot that chest was hiding behind there. You guys probably knew, but oh well. Hey, this thing's done. Nice. All right, cool. At the expense of using lots of power, I'm breaking these blocks, and I'll probably break you and you. That should be cool. How would we do with our canola press? Plenty of power in that. Actually, a decent amount of canola oil left. Nice. So some oil left to be converted into the appropriate amounts of fuel. As you can see, I made a second one. I'm pretty sure I did this off camera, right? So you guys didn't see that on camera, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. So you should be doing things. Cool. So I'm assuming what's going to happen is you're going to stop burning once we have a full capacitor. That is correct. Awesome. Look, it's not using up oil anymore. So that's good to know. We need a lot more dirt. Like a lot more. I'm also going to need another one of those pattern chests because derp. But that's no big deal. Alright, let me clean that up off camera. I'm going to get a bunch of dirt off screen, and I don't think I have much left here. Yeah, not too much. And we'll be right back to start building. What I want to build today is two things. I want to build a power generation room, and then I want to build probably a processing room for auto processing of ores. I think that's pretty much what I would like to accomplish, and if I can, I would be very happy with that for the day. So we'll be right back. So I figured now's as good a time as any to make an excavator, because I have to dig up a lot of dirt. And I figured I'd do this part on camera at least. So we'll get the excavator head, which I'm making the cast for now. Nice. And that's going to need a decent amount of bronze. Pretty decent amount, to be sure. Basically 8 ingots worth, and that'll harden. And then I've got enough bronze for the next piece, which is going to be the plate cast. Cool. So that will be clay going. Nice. And then we make sure bronze is ready to roll. And we can make ourselves an excavator once this cools. Nice. All right. You guys can sort, which, by the way, working really well. You are cooling. We're ready to craft this excavator as soon as this cools off. Beautiful. I'll put this guy back in there, and we'll let this auto run again. So I'm assuming with clay, are you going to do something? Does clay pour into a cast? It does. Does it turn into a brick, I guess? Okay, cool. That works for me. I'll let that run. You ready to roll? Doot, 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 doot. Nice. Bronze excavator. Pretty much does to dirt what the hammer does to stone. It mines in a 3x3 pattern, and it's pretty awesome. So back in a minute when I have a lot of dirt. Alright guys, so we've got a pretty well cleared out area. The grass is starting to grow and spread and look nice. I want to start with a generator room. This is the room where we're going to generate power, and pretty much exactly what I just said. Generate power. That's all. Conversation over. I'm thinking about what I want it to look like. I'll probably wind up both expanding the room and changing the appearance of the room as time goes on. But in looking through my inventory of blocks, I don't have a lot. I really don't have much. I have a bunch of stone because I just swapped a whole bunch of stone and turned it into dirt. So luckily I kind of have that. But I really don't have a lot of stuff. So this is my house over here. I want this to kind of be like a nicely laid out area. Eventually this is going to go away and we'll probably have a tinker's hut somewhere where we can do all our tinker tooling. But that's an eventuality. You, Mr. Sheep, are kind of in my way. I'd rather you not die at the moment, but I really don't want you to be hanging out there where you are. So I'm trying to decide how I want this layout to look, right? Overall, at the end, like there's going to be a lot of different rooms and buildings, I presume. If we get up high and get a nice vantage point, what we'll probably see is we'll have like, this is like our main living quarter that leads back to our mining area. Eventually this sorting room will be upgraded to like refined storage or something. And we'll probably have a basement for a couple things underneath our base. But for the most part, we want power to come from a power generator room. We're also going to want item transfer. And we're probably going to have like, what I would say, yeah, this is going to be tricky, right? So we're going to probably eventually want to have, I would like my base to be the central area of my area, but I also want power gen to be relatively centralized. So probably in this general area will be power gen. Over there will be ore processing, like automated ore processing. We might include in our base some manual ore processing machines, maybe next to one of the 2 rooms that I've already got there, so that I can, you know, manually craft stuff, right? Because we're going to want a crafting area where we can go in and craft all the stuff from Ender.io and any other crafting processes that we need to do, like alloy smeltery and all that, right? So any crafting operations we'll want to have probably nearby our item storage so that we can easily access that. Maybe we'll build off to where the Tinker's area is now can be a manual processing area. So let's say that was going to be a 9x9, right? So that would be 1 block away from where it is now, or 2 blocks real, yeah, 1 block away. Let's get our tape measure, right? So I know I have that in here somewhere. You're still in block mode. Cool. So goodness, the days are short in this game. So here, so this would be the 9x9. That's what it would look like. Goodness, I wish I could fly. It would make this a lot easier. But if that was a 9x9 area, it doesn't look like a 9x9, but it is, according to the tape measure. So that would be cool. Let me show you one neat feature of this tape measure. Let me sleep through the night. So if this is a 9x9, right, we would probably want our power gen to be a little further away. So let's build red for power gen. And again, we're going to go 9x9, but we'll probably wind up A, being a little further away. So like maybe off in this direction. Like a decent distance from our main base, but not too far, would be good. And this can be 9x9 here as well, right? It's actually a little bit hard to see, the red. It's a little bit dark. Should I go light blue maybe? It's a little bit easier. So that could be the 9x9 structure for the power room, right? And automated processing, does that need to be a 9x9? I don't think so. Because really what we need for automated processing of ores and such is maybe 3 crushers and 3 smelters, right? So that could be a smaller building. And it might be expanded later, but for now it could be a smaller building, right? So if this was going to be a 9x9, right? So 3 crushers and 3 smelters would fit inside a 9x9 wide, but I don't know that it necessarily needs to be. Maybe automated ore processing would run this way. So we could have this be like the walls of the building, right? And this isn't exactly where it's going to lay out. And then we could have something like that, right? And this could be a smaller building. Like, it doesn't have to be that big, because there's not a lot of things to process, at least not now. Most of what I need to process is like copper and tin and that kind of stuff, right? And we would basically pipe we'd somewhat get it over here. Maybe like, we'd probably have an input chest that goes here, and then would route items into the machines and out of the machines using Ender IO conduits is probably how I'll do that. But getting the items over here will be done with the laser system, right? So that would probably work pretty well. And then in terms of power, we would probably have the laser system come across as well. Cool. Okay. So that should work. I like that. And maybe we'll even use phantom faces to make it look even nicer so that we don't have to have lasers. Like, we'd have lasers coming into the building and probably distributing to the machines. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll definitely figure it out. Yeah, I think I have a pretty good idea of how this will work and look. So that should be cool. All right. So if that's going to be... We don't need this building to be particularly large then, right? So let's make this color yellow, or orange might be good. So we definitely need it 9 across, right? But it could just be like a smallerish building. So 9 by 7, does that sound cool? And then we could just come in here, right? So like this would be the front door, and we just walk in and be like, boom, boom, there's the machines, and we're good. Does that sound neat? I think it sounds neat. I hope you guys like it, because that's kind of the idea that I'm coming up with. And then we'll go from there, right? This structure is going to start small. We'll probably be doing like the processing and creating of these oil generator things, but we'll probably expand to other power methods in the future. And this building may have to expand. So I want to leave plenty of space over on this side and behind, so that this building needs to be larger for larger sized power gen structures. It'll be doable. All right, guys, we're back. Off camera real quick, I cleared away my Tinker's smeltery and stored it all in this chest. So this is all Tinker's stuff. This is everything that was here a minute ago, which should be good. Let me get a little dirt to fill in that area. Nice. Now this is currently most of our power gen situation that we've got going on. It's a bit of a mess. Over here, I've got my new power gen building. Here's kind of what I've laid out, and you guys let me know what you guys think of it. I think it looks all right. Looks cool. Might tweak up a little couple things. We'll see. Might want to add some windows or something on the sides. That might be nice to add some windows on the sides. We'll see. Because I don't need these walls to be blocked, but I don't have the resources to do that yet. So we'll fancy it up later. Goal number 1 is to get up and running. Goal number 2, make it look nice. And I know I'm terrible about like completing goal number 2 because I don't always like come back later and make it look nice like I say I will, but we'll see. When I was doing this an episode or 2 ago, from what I remember, the canola press was faster than the fermenting barrel. So what I'm going to do is have 2 presses per one, or 2 barrels per 1 press, because this is faster, right? So 2 fermenting barrels to 1 canola press, right? And so I've got in here 1 press and then 2 barrels, and we'll have 1 press and 2 barrels, and that should make the oil that I want. And then I'll have 3 generators for making power. Cool. So I'm not sure. Like, I'm sure I can pick these up. I don't know if these will retain their power and oil when I pick them up. No idea. We're gonna find out right now. Yay, they do. Hooray. So these shouldn't stack in my inventory because they have 2 different bits of information on them. That's fine. The coal generator, don't know that I want a coal generator right now. That thing's pretty inefficient, if I'm being honest. And then we've got the crusher and we've got the energizer, which is kind of nice to have too. You can hang out over here for a minute with your energizer pal. Nice. And in here, we will have our oil generators. So we're going to wind up having 3 of them. I have to make another one, but this will be good for now. Okay, and then over here, we will have canola press and 2 barrels. So right now, we'll have the 1 press, which needs items inserted into it, power inserted into it, and then liquid extracted from it. Okay, this will only need liquid inserted and extracted, and this will need liquid inserted and extracted. And then we're going to need another set of them. So I might real quick make a fermenting barrel, just to have the 1 set good. So Inori crystal, canola, and wood casing. I think I even have a wood casing. I do, and an Inori crystal, and in my farming chest, some canola. So that, oh, and I think I need some wood. 6 of them. Fermenting barrel, sweet. Perfect. So that's 1 set. I'll make another set. And then the plan will be And obviously we'll have multiple forms of power gen. So I'm leaving this wall a little bit clear. We might have another power gen system up and running at some point. And then, like I said, we might expand this room to make it so that there can be multiple different things making power. But for my early game tier 1 beginning power, I wanted to try out the oil system from Actually Additions. And I think we're going to wind up with a pretty good amount of power gen. The block in the center here is going to be a capacitor from Ender.io, which can store RF. We'll probably start with a basic one because we have the resources for it. And then we'll go from there to get higher tier, because we need, to get higher tier ones, like the tier 2 capacitor, we need things like energetic alloys and stuff that we don't have the resources. Well, I mean, we have the resources, but we don't have the machines to make them yet. And basically, I want to have, my concept is that each individual building will mostly run on Ender.io conduits locally. So like we'll have an Ender.io conduit system in here to transfer the items and the liquids and the power all around, but that power will all feed via Ender.io conduits from the oil generators into a capacitor, and then we'll use the laser system on top of the capacitor to transfer energy out of this building up through this hole in the roof and distribute it across to the different locations. And we might have items flowing into this location coming into the building, and basically like those items will land in here, for example. So we'll feed items in and send items out with the laser system, but everything inside this building will be run on Ender.io conduits. And that'll be the same for other buildings, right? So we'll feed energy into this building and items as well. And then we'll probably hook up to like one Ender.io conduit for transferring items around. So the way I kind of have it visioned out in my head makes sense. Whether or not it works, we'll find out. Let me chisel up. I'm going to need another chisel in like a second. Some of these guys. And I want to build out this because I want to have some processing stuff in a bit. All right, a little bit of building later, and we've got a new building. Hooray! I derped up something. What did I derp up? What did I derp up? What? Oh, right. I just used this to pillar up to the roof. I'm like, wait a second, there's an extra block space there. All right, cool. So this 9x9 is built. This 9x9 is built. Looking good. What I'll probably do, just to make my life a little bit easier, just so I can clear out these markings, I'll just kind of... So this is what it'll look like. This will be like my ore processing room. It'll be small, and we'll just pop in there, and yeah, everything's good, and pop out. Pretty much, roughly. Does that sound cool? I think that looks good, right? So now I can take you and shift-click to clear all that. Boom. See you later, guys. Nice. I like this tape measure. It's pretty cool. Switch you back to white. And, all right. Cool. So far, so good. I actually had to go mining to get more cobblestone to build this room. How crazy is that? Let's get down our crusher and our powered furnace in here. Just so we have like direct access to those. And we're going to set auto split on for this guy because, yeah. And then what's the next thing I'm going to want to do? Let's get Ender.io up and running. Does that sound like a plan? I think so. So one of the first blocks you want to get from Ender.io in order to be able to make alloys is the alloy smeltery. It's going to let you make a bunch of stuff that you're going to need to progress in Ender.io. For this, we're going to need a few furnaces, which we are short on cobblestone for. So give me cobblestone back, please. So let's do 3 of you guys. So what happens when I go mining and void all my cobble? I run low on cobble. We're going to need a basic capacitor. I'm going to get one of those for now, but we're going to need more eventually. And then we're going to convert that to a machine chassis. And then we're going to need a cauldron. And then we can make ourselves an alloy smeltery. Nice. All right. What I think I'll probably do is borrow... Do I have enough to get this up and running? That would be kind of cool if I did. Where's my laser hookup, dude? I don't know if this is going to be doable all the way over to here? Probably not. Yeah, too far apart. I want to know what would be a cool way to do this. I want it to look good. Give me another one of... So what I could do... I would like the laser to go through a hole in the roof. But I want to make sure that I can then distribute it anywhere I want. So like if I had a laser here, that could come up to here, and then this guy could zip over to this guy. I'm going to need another one of these laser relays for sure. The only problem I have is getting it through this one block space and having it look good. Come back in a second. Let me make this. Okay, so I made a couple more of these. We can sort this stuff back. I definitely want... So I could have like a block here and the laser relay come across like that, kind of. But if I connect this to here, it's not going to look super cool, right? Can I connect this to here and have it look super cool? They were already part of the same network, so I couldn't reconnect them. But see, that doesn't look great either. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to make this look cool. So what I could have is a capacitor in the center of the room and feed power to these machines underground, so that basically this thing can feed directly into the capacitor. But then we'd have this block in the middle of the room, which I don't love the idea of. So there's another way we could handle this. Phantom faces. What's the range on the phantom face? That might work. Depends on the range. Phantom faces. I'm pretty sure that's this guy. Default range of 16 blocks. Nice. That's cool. Yes. That might be very cool. All right, so this might be an idea. So phantom faces are cool blocks from actually additions. It basically lets you link one block location to another. So that basically if you're feeding items into it, instead of going into the block that the laser's connected to, it goes into another block. Like totally like wirelessly and awesome looking. Yeah. We can do that with energy too. So basically the idea would be as follows. And I think this will work for both. What I could have is a phantom face in the ceiling right there that's linked to a capacitor on the floor. So that energy coming in, and I have to derp column my way up there. But basically, energy would come in straight across. Now, I don't know if the phantom face would work the other direction. The other problem, and this is a big problem, is that phantom faces aren't really available to us right now in terms of our resources, because they require a block of ender pearl per phantom face. So I'm going to need like 8 ender pearls if I want to do this. And my ender lily farm, I'm going to say, is not in good shape. We are not in a good ender lily location right now. Let's go check that out. Also, while I'm here, I want to get all my canola that I can. We'll eventually automate all these things. Yeah, no. You're not even close to growing. So we'll have to see how I can get ender pearls in a good way. And I think I can link the phantom face. I could have one on the roof here too. Where did you land? There you are. I could have a phantom face on the roof as well that links to the capacitor that's centered in this room. And that would also look really cool. So I think we've got a solution to making things both look cool and function well. So we could just have like the energy laser relay on the roof. That should, in my theory, work. So let's, well, we're gonna leave, so this will eventually be a phantom face connected to this guy. And you'll see it all once I get up and running. I know it's confusing, but I really want this to both look good and function well. For now, before we get this up and running, we're gonna have to do this like in an ugly manner. Trust me, this will look better once I have this properly configured. But basically we wanna have you to here, you to here. We'll wind up having this laser hooked up to here. And then hopefully this laser can reach across to this building. And again, once we have a proper system up and running, we'll be in better shape with this. Too far away, huh? Okay. What's the range on these things? $15 blocks apart. Cool. Okay. And what is our current distance on this thing? I just want to know, so that I know like what kind of situation I'm getting myself into. So it looks like it was 17 meters. Awesome. So I'm going to run this laser here. And then instead of there, I'm just going to run it. I'm going to connect. It's going to look ugly. I'm just telling you guys, right? Just so you know, it's going to be ugly. It's not going to look nice. But it'll work for now because we have a lot of infrastructure to build and we need the power over here. So we'll just hook this guy directly up to our machine. And now we should be getting power. Nice. That's awesome. And that power is coming from these guys, which now turned on because power is being drained from them. So we're generating more. Awesome and double awesome. I like it. Eventually that'll be feeding into a capacitor or something, but we'll get that all sorted in a bit. So we've got basic, ugly, terrible looking energy flow from one building to the next. This will look better. I promise. We just don't have the resources to make it look better yet. We'll get there. So now that we've got the alloy smeltery up and running, we can start making more cool stuff. And now that we can make more cool stuff, we're really going to be happy. So now that we've got an alloy smeltery, what do we want to make? I wouldn't mind making energy conduits. So there's a bunch of different types and forms of energy conduits. Conductive iron will make the tier 1 energy conduit. Energetic alloy, which requires gold, redstone, and glowstone, will make the next version of it. That's tier 2. I think right now we really only need tier 1 for energy conduits. And this should be, if I'm remembering correctly, just iron and redstone in an alloy smeltery. We're also going to need conduit binding, which is clay, sand, and gravel. I shouldn't have too much trouble getting that. I should have most of it. Clay and gravel. Sand, ironically, is something that I don't have a ton of right now. So excavator time. Let's go get some. Ideally, by the end of the episode, I'd like to have some of this in place. So let's come back in a second. So let's get cooking. We're going to need conduit binder, which is this stuff. I'm going to get, hey, sure, why not? A stack of it. Perfect. Had just enough to do that. Neat. Can put all this stuff away then. We can cook that up in the alloy smeltery. The alloy smeltery has several modes. All smelting means it'll try to do either combining or direct smelting. So like, there's a couple instances where you might want to say, I only want it to do furnace mode, which means that you can't put redstone and iron in there. In alloy mode, you can put redstone and stuff in there. So if I wanted, let's say 6 of these, we could throw them in there and it would start smelting and combining. Cool. It's a little bit slow to make, but there's upgrades we can make later for this. We just don't really have the resources yet to make the upgrades. And ta-da! We've got conductive iron. Nice. We can just smelt this binder composite. I'm going to throw it into the powered furnace for now. This thing's going to lose power, so we better do something about this. Let's yoink, yoink. See, well, I'm going to want to use, like, item conduit or regular Ender conduits for powering this. The plan will be that basically we have the laser going into the roof on top and then right into here, And then this guy phantom faces with the roof, and then we have item conduit or energy conduits going from this block over to these blocks. That's kind of the idea. We'll see how that works out. So we've got some of these. Since this is going to be a crafting room, I should have a crafting table in here, and I will. So there. Cool. And now I can make 8 energy conduits. Sweet. So the plan will eventually be... I've got a shovel on me. I do. So this is my alloy smeltery, my furnace, and my crusher for now, right? We can just basically feed power into these guys, and then it'll run down here to the bottom of this block, which we have like literally just enough to do right now, right? So for this block to work, we're gonna need a capacitor, which means we're gonna need a little bit more by way of resources than I have on me. It might be good. Might be good. We'll see. So a capacitor, I feel like we're getting close to the wrapping up point, by the way. Hint. For these, a redstone block, and boom, capacitor. Nice. So this guy can store, send, and receive all kinds of power. So instead of having these laser relays on here, so watch, this thing's still running. He's out of power, right? You're low on power too. Probably, I would assume, because you guys ran out of oil or something? Pretty much, yes. All right, we're gonna have to do something about that. But basically, we want to have this guy here, and then we will hook up to this laser that's up here, and eventually this will be a little bit nicer still into here. Cool. So you can receive power. So this thing has all kinds of cool configs. I'm going to configure it to receive from the top and output to the bottom. We could have it do other things as well, you know, as needed, but for now I think that's going to work pretty well. Cool. So that should work for us. The only problem is we're out of power now. Cool. So how about we do this? I'm going to come back next episode. I'm going to start working towards more better things. I'm going to want another capacitor over here that these guys feed into. And I'm also going to want to transfer liquids from here over to here so that I can start getting the canola press working. That's the plan. We'll see if it works out for us. I don't know how I want to do this. I might want the 2 presses on the left and the 4 barrels on the right. That might be a better layout for what I want to do. So we'll have 2 more barrels here and a press there. I think that's going to be better. I think that'll absolutely be better. And then we can feed from the barrels directly over to here, and that'll also be good. So there's going to be a lot of work that needs to go into getting ready to be able to do that. And we're going to work on that next episode. So for now, Darryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like I said, horrible laser system, work in progress. It'll be better. Trust me. All right, guys. For now, take it easy.